Okay, so hi there everyone, and this is Krissy from In the Stars by Krissy.com. So I'm making a special video right now in honor and in presence sa pinagdadaanan ngayon ng Russia and Ukraine, since marami ring mga nagtatanong sa akin sa Facebook group and sa TikTok ko regarding what are my thoughts regarding the war going on regarding these two countries. So I'm just making an astrology analysis to give my thoughts on the matter as well, and for the purpose of education at the same time. So please do know that I'm just going to strictly focus on the astrology side, and just so you know, hindi ako ganun ka-updated sa mga details regarding this war. All I know is that they have this war going on because I do make it a point to not um listen too much on various details regarding war. Masyado since I am an empath, so I really do not like to engage myself on those things very much. I only want to absorb kung ano yung necessary that I need to know, and I don't really dive into much and try to see a lot of news regarding the situation. It's not because I am being irresponsible, but yeah, sensitive people have their own things going on. So I do hope that people will be more understanding about that. But anyway, so right now I'm just looking at the chart. This chart is based upon yung exact time at the very least na was known na nagkaroon ng attack sa Ukraine. So ito yung magiging chart niya, and then later on I'll also show you guys the chart of Ukraine as well, which I took from Astro Bank, which is has this correct correct birth chart ng Ukraine itself. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting and insightful for those of you who are students of astrology and those who are interested as well. And just so you know, I'm also um, making this video in honor and praise to my late mentor, since he already passed away. It's Nikola Stojanovic. So since a lot of what I am going to be sharing you guys are things that he taught me in the past. So sa mga lessons and classes namin, so ayun lang. So it it reminds me on how much great of an astrologer he is. So if you don't know much about him, you might as well check more on Serbian Astrologer website. So I'll put all the information down below. And I think meron din siyang mga certain videos on YouTube left uh, by other astrologers and stuff like that. So if you're interested. But anyway, so let's get into the video. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you can please do hit that subscribe button, and if you like videos like this, feel free to give it a like and share, diba? So that if there are celebrities or other people that you want me to take a look on, I might put that up in the future so we can discuss more, analysis and details regarding those kinds of things. So that's just something we might come into play in the future. So yeah. So this is the chart itself. Now, it's very interesting that this is happening sa Capricorn rising. And nangyayari ito sa 21 degrees. Now, very interestingly enough, 21 degrees siya, but if you will see, nasa 49 minutes na ito, which is very near the 22-degree mark. And in astrology, no, even though it says here na it's 5 a.m. nangyari yung attack, like few minutes na lang, nasa 22 degree na siya. So I think we need to keep that in mind na parang andun siya sa astrological degree ng 22 of to kill and be killed. So yeah, we need to put that into consideration. Also, marami tayong mga 22-degree mark here sa chart ng Ukraine, ng transit chart ng sa country ng transit ng Ukraine basically. We can see Mars. Over here, yung Mars niya is nasa 22 degree. Meron din silang Vesta is also at the 22 degree. Meron din siyang Neptune at the 22 degree mark at the same time. So there are a lot of indications of to kill and be killed kind of a situation here. But not only that, there are situations here wherein yung ascendant line niya mismo is ascendant line and Mars and Venus is making a square to Aries. Now, Aries is like the goddess of discord, and it's a goddess na that creates war basically, you know. If you guys are aware of the story ng the Trojan War and stuff like that, that was triggered by Aries, and I think we need to keep this in mind as we, look at this chart, because hindi ko masyado alam yung details, but there are stories, I think, that are going on na nagsasabi na parang um, this war is not one-sided. There are stories behind the scene going on na nag-trigger ng war na ito. And it might be, I'm not saying na yun yung situation, but it might be that there is an Aries kind of a player in this war na nag-trigger to get that war manifested to them. So I'm not gonna say what country is that or what is that, but I think we need to keep that in mind. So yun. And if we go back to the Trojan War situations, yan yung situation na parang, alam mo yun, nag-away-away yung mga goddess regarding being the fairest of them all, and no god wants to pick kung sinong goddess yon. So they ask someone else to do the picking, and then that person chose someone else na hindi part ng choices ng mga goddesses. So that triggered a lot of war and stuff like that. So yun yung story behind that Trojan War kind of thing. So I'm not saying na meron tayong ganyang situation na nangyayari, but whenever Aries is being triggered in astrology, there is always a trigger, and it could be an element of temptation, it could be an element of wrong choices, it could be an element of impulsive things going on, or literally there's an element of discord going on at the same time. Now, another factor that we might come into, realization here is that Aries is also creating a sextile kay Juno. And Juno is the asteroid of contracts, asteroid of relationships and marriages. So it could be some form of alliance kind of thing that have triggered this, an alliance between two things or something like that. I don't know. An alliance to free themselves over something, since Aquarius is the sign of freedom and revolution, wanting to change things up. So yun siya actually. Now, it's important to realize that Capricorn rising is actually a big part ng chart ng Ukraine, which you will guys see over here. I'll put up some information here. You will see na ascendant sign ito ng chart ng Ukraine. By the way, this is the Ukraine chart itself. And the details and information about this is taken from Astrobank, wherein sa Astrobank, yung mga nakalista lang doon is yung mga verified na charts talaga. So if it's not verified, it won't be there. So this is an actual chart of Ukraine. So you guys will see that their moon is in Aquarius, and then they have this going on with Neptune and Uranus as well. So Capricorn siya, okay? So there's a trigger point right there, and ascendant nila is happening at the 16 degrees of Capricorn at the same time, which is a 13, 14, 15, 16, which is a Cancer degree, by the way. So yeah, let's put this off for a moment. And then And then, and ang ang Aquarius energy kasi, no, is being manifested sa moon nila, which means that it can actually something that can affect a lot of people since the moon represents people of the country, people of the masses and stuff like that. So it has, manifested right there. We're in there's were a lot of deaths and stuff like that. And then interestingly enough, meron tayong sun conjunct Jupiter. When we say conjunct, hindi naman kasi exactly na kailangan super lapit nila when it comes to luminaries. When we call luminaries, we are talking about the sun and the moon. Pag may mga conjunction sila, actually, we give it at least 10-degree orb or so. So, this is actually already near kahit pa paano, no? So, sun and Jupiter conjunction. And nandyan siya sa may placement ng malapit sa second house, which is having to do with security, with our resources, with our land, or the safety of the country itself, diba? And with that, according to my mentor, Nikola, uh, ang, I'm not sure kung ano yung chart ng Russia in itself, but he calls Russia as the zodiac sign of Pisces. And I think it's quite telling regarding this because we have the sun conjunct Jupiter. This can, tell us that this could be coming from this attack or something is coming from someone from a country that has a lot of good fortune, that has a lot of luck. They have a massive amount of resources and stuff like that. Also, it's making a square kay moon in Sagittarius. So that's actually, the moon represents the people, and then alam mo yun, nagkaroon ng massive outbreak or massive effects when it comes to the maybe decisions din ng presidente nila or something like that, because this is the 10th house, okay? 10th house and second house, this something has to do with resources and safety measures of the country in itself. So yeah, and then also, we should keep in mind na Uranus is also creating that square has a square sa, I think, to Lilith. Yeah. And actually, it's also creating a square to Pluto. Yung mga energy ng first house niya is having that square sa third house, which can create a sudden upheaval and changes into their everyday life. Also, whenever there is a Mars and Venus conjunction, this actually creates some form of either attraction or some form of opposition, Mars and Venus are like two planets who think on two different things, di ba? Those kinds of stuff. And ito yung element na, alam mo yun, nangyayari to sa 12th house. So parang, it's something that surprised them, definitely. And nagmanifest siya as a form of attack and stuff like that. So, yeah. And yan yung, alam mo yung manifestation niya. And we do have here, Neptune. So there has been a lot of losses that occurred into this situation as well. And then, if we take a look again sa chart ng Ukraine, we can actually see that meron din silang conjunction ng Sun and Jupiter, which is very interesting to see kasi there's also a conjunction ng Sun and Jupiter here. And nangyayari ito sa Leo placement nila ng chart, if you guys can see. And then, nasaan ba yung Leo nila, diba? Nandito sa may 7 to 8 house. And 7 to 8 house has a lot to do with uh, again, it has a lot to do with contracts again, or kausapan, or mga legalities, and the eighth house can is definitely a signifying factor of Scorpio energy, which has to do with possessions and has a lot to do with death as a whole. And then meron din tayong tinatawag natin na South Node over here, which is Scorpio, na nangyari dyan. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are being manifested here that are showing definitely sa chart ng Ukraine. And then mayroon din tayong tinatawag na T-square ng ni Pluto. Pluto nila is actually in the Scorpio placement in their chart as well. So that's actually going to be very interesting. They also have their Mars in Virgo by that time, and it is aspecting the moon in their own chart. So ang nangyayari dito is parang pag pinagpatong mo ang chart nila sa transits, basically, it is actually giving us more of a clarity na kung ano yung mga nangyayari. Nagkakaroon ng essence here na parang, ayun nga, maraming mga namatay, maraming naargabyado, a lot of effects has occurred and manifested in them. And, alam mo yun, hindi siya bagay na parang, okay, inattack lang nila kami for no reason. There's actually a reason for this as well. And it's not just between these two countries. There is another factor na nagpi-play ng role here, which I really don't want to mention. But if you try to do your own searching in Google, you'll probably get a hint on what that is. Also, I am inclined to tell you that the moon nila in the sign of Sagittarius is actually the ascendant degree halos ng US chart. So, and then ang US as well is ang US is actually here at the 7th house nila, which is a US is a Cancer country. So whether they are truly involved there or not is up to debate, but I do see the correlation here and there. So yeah. A lot of people are asking, is this going to last for a long time? I really don't think so. Kasi, I don't know. I don't think it's going to last for such a long period of time because I don't think that Ukraine is going to prolong the situation because obviously there are very very much talo sa ganitong situation, no. So yeah. Oh, by the way, there are Ukraine is a Virgo. Virgo a sign, a very 0 degrees Virgo pala sila, no? Hindi ko napansin. And that can create, kaya siguro buhay na buhay yung kanilang energy ng 7th house and 8th house matters, which has a lot to do with ayun nga, mga elements of contracts or kausapan. Kasi ang 8th house, ano ba yung 8th house technically, no? We actually see 8th house as a shared resources. So, I think na nakikita natin yung correlation na, something that is shared, na gusto nila siguro ma-free sila from that or something like that. So, yun. And then, when it comes to, personal astrology, the 8th house also is the house wherein pag kinasal ka sa partner mo, yung manifestation of marriage or manifestation ng contract, deeper contract with another person is actually manifested in the 8th house as well. So it really has a strong correlation to some form of partnerships, one way or another. So yun. So yeah, but I find it very surprising kasi maybe they acted upon in ways that they don't usually act. I mean, Ukraine. Kasi I kind of feel that they are the kind of country na ano sila, parang very practical and very logical. Usually, yung mga decision makings na ginagawa nila. So, part of me thinks na, alam mo yun, some form of wrong decision making took place with this. So, hindi naman sa kinakampihan ko yung Russia. It's just that I kind of feel na extreme yung methods ng Russia, of course, but uh, maybe there is a reason why they did what they did. So that's just my few cents about that. Um, and as well na nandun na kasi sila sa point na feel ko, I mean, I don't think being greedy is the right word to use, but they want to have ownership with what is theirs. We have here the North Node in the sign of Taurus, which is also at the 22 degree, di ba? So, alam mo yun, even though I'm saying to kill or be killed, na obviously sila yung natatalo here, we cannot really know or we don't have the right to say whether nagkaroon din sila ng plano to do something, you know, unrealistic or to do something na hindi maganda. Ngayon kasi syempre, of course, sila yung natatalo. So, syempre, we are being more, giving them more sympathy and stuff like that. But anyways, that's just my take lang naman, no? So, and usually naman, no, when we are seeing a lot of Aquarius elements here, this is really more of a point wherein, yes, there could be sudden changes that could be occurring, pero it manifests in a way na magkakause ito ng destruction or sudden events or sudden happening. Tapos, after mag-crush down ng isang buong situation, it's going to rebuild itself once again, and then things are going to be much better. So, I guess I'm being optimistic, and I really want to be optimistic as well, of course. I mean, sino bang may ayaw nun, di ba? But maybe this is, something na matagal na ding issue na kailangan na rin talaga nila i-sort out. It's just that they might not have sorted it out in a way na maayos or in a way na hindi na kailangan ng ganito. But anyways, this is just, this is astrology. So, we are just, giving explanation why things have occurred, ano yung mga underlying currents na pwede nating mapansin sa situation. So, yun lang. And I just want to share some of this information. Oh, by the way, their Saturn is actually at the 18 degrees. And, whenever there is an 18 degree of any planets, it has been said na meron siyang influence of someone that is evil or someone that is bad, someone that has some form of bad intention. So, hindi ako nagbibigay ng clear thoughts ko of the matter, pero I'm giving you guys hints here and there, and it will be up to you to pick up the pieces of the puzzle and put them together. And only time will tell whether kung ano ba talaga yung totoo o hindi. But definitely, what I'm just sharing you guys is that the manifestation lang naman, no? Ng chart, ng attack itself sa Ukraine. So, it gives us some form of information. And I did some form of research then, though I did a research on this in the Philippines chart. But I have noticed na whenever there is a lot of activations when it comes to Aquarius, ito yung mga moments na it did triggered some form of war. And every time it did, mapapansin natin na it's always about wanting to free yourself, wanting to be independent, wanting to meron tong energy of revolution kind of thing. So I think that is very, very interesting to know and to notice. So now na marami ding mga energy ng Aquarius dyan, it's not surprising na for sure there was an element of that kind of situation, which I already think na everyone knows naman na. But ayun, also I think the 11th house is also a situation na konektado sa connections natin, no, with associates or our allies and stuff like that. But medyo nakakaawa. Hindi medyo, okay. Saying medyo is very wrong. But nakakaawa kasi sila kasi no one tried to help them even though pwede naman, no? It's just that, in short, very agabyado. I don't know if that's the right word, Ukraine. But I just kind of think na something went wrong amongst all of that. You know, it's not something that occurred without a reason. Though, lahat naman ng war, may reason talaga. It's just that, alam mo yun, eh, other people kasi thinks na, you know, Russia is just forcing things or wanting to bully them. I just don't think that that is the case. But that is just me. But importante here is that, you know, I'm very hopeful that things will be resolved and sandali lang siya. But of course, you know, yung mga taong mga namatay na and stuff like that, uh, may mga bagay na hindi na talaga natin kasi talaga mababawi. And it's always very sad when war occurs and stuff like that. But, yun lang. I hope that each and every one of us will just be open with things, and I hope we can send some form of prayers to those who have passed at the same time. But I really think as well na this whole thing has a lesson of its own of not trusting certain things a bit too much. So, to the point na parang, lalo na kung hindi natin kayang saluhin or tanggapin yung magiging consequences kapag ka meron tayong mga decisions na i-act upon. So, yan lang naman ang aking analysis here on astrology and when it comes to Ukraine. And a lot of the information that I have given you is really more of things that I've learned from Nikola. As well, we have here the seventh house, the seventh degree ng Sagittarius, which is a Libra kind of energy. And I think yung presidente nila has a Libra placement as well. So, so a clashes of belief regarding that could have manifested. And Pisces is the zodiac sign ng Russia din, no? Not the actual zodiac sign nila, but according to studies ni Nikola, he calls Russia as a Pisces. You know, any countries that are very prone to drugs and various corruptions and stuff like that tends to have an energy of Pisces and stuff like that, according to him. So, yan lang naman. And yeah, let's offer them some form of prayers. And I hope you guys learned something from this video. And yan lang naman. And yeah. Also, I just want to say na naging volatile din kasi yung energy na ito because of the conjunction kay Pluto. Okay, so Pluto is massive. Nagkakaroon to ng super, super huge and big effect sa mundo, technically. Or sa situation na they are actually involved on. So, since nasa 27 degree yung Pluto, everything that is near the 27 degree mark is going to be hit upon, which you guys can see that Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, lahat yan, nasa malapit na sa 27 degrees. So, that actually activated the Pluto energy, which is manifesting dyan sa ascendant nila. And, alam mo yun, so that created a massive form of confusion, of attack, and stuff like that. So, ayun lang naman. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, even though na I'm pretty sure some people don't really care so much about, you know, the astrology analysis of the chart in itself. But, yeah, let's just use this as a educational astrology to see the correlations and patterns na meron tayo. Meron ng chart na ito, basically. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and tuning in with me. If you guys want to request some form of chart analysis readings na medyo hindi controversial para makapagbigay ako ng more straight to the point analysis. By the way, in my next video, I'm planning to do a chart reading regarding sa isang popular person. Well, popular person that is a pro when it comes to relationships, and we will take a look and see yung effects ng chart niya sa ugali niya and sa profession niya. So I think, reading natal charts like this is going to be very interesting na makita natin yung mga correlations and manifestations regarding yung personality ng tao sa, alam mo yun, sa totoong nangyayari in their life and in their natal charts and stuff like that, because that is what astrology does. Anyways, yun lang naman, and I'll see you guys again on my next video. Bye!